Hello there and welcome to this week of Rugby League. And what a week it's been, with that tough quarter-final back at Leichhardt on Wednesday between Parramatta and Canterbury, with the Eels running out victorious, but their fans and their coach not all that happy. The Commonwealth Bank Cup match saw the first appearance on television this year of Fairfield Patrician brothers. And then on Saturday, our friends at the ABC, they covered that match between Souths and Easts. And then on Sunday, 10 sports cameras were at the Parramatta Stadium for the Eels versus the Magpies. First things first, though, last Wednesday, it was the Bulldogs and the Eels at Leichhardt. Well, let's have a look at the teams now. Some good news and bad news for both sides, really. Firstly, for Parramatta, Terry Leadbeater is out. But the reason that they're going so well this year, in my opinion, is their depth in the forwards. And coming into the team in jumper number 26 is former Rothmans medalist Jeff Bugden. And of course, the other good news for Parramatta is that Steve Ella is back in town. He's listed on the wing, but he'll probably pop up all over the park. Canterbury Bankstown have got their share of problems, and it's mainly in the engine room. But Andrew Farah is back. He's made a fairly rapid recovery from a fractured cheekbone, and he'll partner Peter Mortimer in the centres. Of course, Chris Mortimer is out injured. Down in the front row, David Gillespie moves up into the number 11 jumper. Peter Kelly, of course, is out. And Mark Bugden comes in for Billy Johnston. Terry Lamb gets us off and running, taken in immediately by Sterling, who said only yesterday in the newspapers that Lamb was the bogeyman as far as Parramatta were concerned. Penalty to Parramatta, Canterbury inside the 5 at the play the ball. Sterling the kicker for line. Sharp taking the tap. Gillespie in 11 leading the way. Bugden coming in over the top. Bugden. A swarm of Canterbury players, including his brother Mark, involved in the tackle.
Canterbury are absolutely sprinting up in defence. There's going to be a ferocious start to this one.
Seems little doubt that's where it's going to be won. Here's another penalty. It's right in front for Steve Ella. A windless night. Obviously, there's not a great deal of confidence in the Parramatta goal-kicking ranks at this stage. They take the line finder and the tap. Sharp. Sterling, a short ball for George. Price, Sterling, Mayers, hitting it up off a second pivot. Running very wide is Mayers. Sterling, Price, Sterling, Kenny. Oh, they've hit the blind side heavy. Put down by Parramatta. Taken in by Michael Hagan. Sterling is down in the back play as we watch this replay.
And Sterling was well and truly finished off in that tackle after he passed the ball, and Andrew Farah was the man that completed the hit.
Put down by Gillespie, picked up quickly by Jackson. Taylor's rushed up into Sterling's position, so the little fellow may go back to full back for a little while. No, he's going into the fray. Here's Sharp. Gillespie is really hitting hard. And he must already have made 5 tackles for Canterbury Bankstown. In fact, that's accurate from the stats man. Jurt. Mosley to play it. Sterling. There's the kick by Sterling. Dangerous one. Has Canterbury covered it up? Now it's Canterbury's ball in front of the uprights. Have a look at it again. And oh gee, it was close, wasn't it?
Jeff Bugden wearing jumper number 26. If you got the Daily Mirror, he was listed in 17. He couldn't fit into 17. He gave it to Jeremy Lillis, who's wearing it as a reserve, and he's a small giant front rower. Folks, now Parramatta gets their turn to defend. Steve Folkes, the captain for Canterbury. This is done. Play good football on Saturday. Here's the kick for drop goal from Terry Lamb. Did it come off the hand of a Parramatta player? Oh, Taylor's made a mistake. This is a try, ladies and gentlemen. It's a try scored by the captain, Steve Folkes. I think you'll find that the drop kick came off a Parramatta hand, and then Paul Taylor, he lost it completely. You wouldn't see Taylor make a mistake like that probably again in a whole season, and Steve Folkes was following through. Watch it again on the Foster's replay. Taylor was probably doing exactly the wrong thing. All he had to do was fall on it and cover it up. Terry Lamb. Oh, well, can't believe it. 4-0 in favour of Canterbury. Kenny turning it inside, finding Laurie. Laurie is about 15 metres out on 5. So very much Sterling is the player to watch. There's his kick. Gross might have been a touch in front of him. And there's trouble in the in goal, but it's over the dead ball line for a line drop out to restart. There's the kick by Sterling. Gross was doing his damnedest to get to it.
The platform that Parramatta have built their great form on over the past few weeks has been strong forward runs, taking the ball up, getting over the advantage line and then hitting their backs. And what Canterbury are trying to do is stop them making that forward progress on the early play the balls.
Sterling. Now it's Taylor. Long ball. That's the one they were looking for. Jackson draws them and gets the ball to Steve Ella, who scores the Parramatta try. Zip has scored. This Parramatta crowd has gone up as one unit to hail the try scored by Ella. He's one of their favourite sons. And Peter Mortimer did everything he knew how to stop a try from Steve Ella, but he couldn't. Foster's like a replay, Bill Anderson's comments.
The long ball by Taylor went over the top to Jackson, who did very well. He angled back in, committed Potter to make the tackle, and the cover defence of Peter Mortimer just couldn't stop Steve Ella.
And as Graham Hughes said, that's the ball that he was going to be looking for. The Ella kick, it left the boot nicely. He's got it from the sideline. Oh boy. 6-4 in favour of Parramatta. The kick for Lyon is a good one. Finding touch about 20 metres out from the Parramatta line. 6-4 in favour of Parramatta if you've just joined us. Folks. Lamb. Hagan. Farah. Hagan. Gillespie. Dunn. Again to the blind side. Looks like Langmack. It's Gillespie. Now it's Lamb. Kick off the outside edge of the boot, taken by Laurie, but it'll be a line dropout. He was a little bit unlucky. He fielded it in the field of play, came down in the field of play, and then was forced back into the in goal. Hagan. Langmack. Out the back. That's a good ball to get away, no matter how it landed. This is Elias. He beat the tackle of Paul Taylor. Done. 8 metres out. Gillespie.
I think Canterbury would be better served by pushing the ball out wide. The last few times they've been down in this position, they've had the chance out wide, but haven't got the ball there.
Knock on by Bugden at dummy half. And there's time out for injury now. Langmack. Let's take a sideline comment. Graham Hughes.
Yes, Ray, just one thing about the Canterbury forwards. When they're taking that ball up, they're taking it up by themselves, one out. They're not putting any pressure on that defensive line at all.
Andrew Farah making a good run of about 20 metres, tackled by Ella. Here's Campbell, out and away from dummy half very quickly, another gain of 10 metres. And now it's Bugden. Bugden! Bugden! Yes! Oh! Shades of a try he scored in the '84 grand final. Shades, a replica. Mark Bugden, he came out and away from dummy half. He followed upon good runs from Farah and Campbell, and he was able to go in and score for the Canterbury Bankstown team, taking them to an 8-6 lead. And here's the Foster's Lager replay.
Bugden sniffed out a try that didn't look like it was there. Mosley should have gone in and tackled a man in possession of the ball. Bugden ran into the little hole. You can see it's that hole almost just behind the play the ball. A couple of Parramatta players missed. Jerb was the second. Taylor couldn't stop him from going over, and that's a vital try.
Lamb taking a long time with it. Hits it. He's got this one. Canterbury Bankstown coming up to half-time, leading by 10 points to 6 over Parramatta. Jerd. Sterling. There goes the Sterling kick, torpedoing. Laurie and Potter, Potter and Laurie, and it's over the dead ball line from Michael Potter. Little torpedo stab kick, if I can describe it that way. Stabbing, low trajectory punt. Here's the dropout coming up from Canterbury, just 10 seconds in front of half-time. Canterbury leading by 10 to 6. They're going to have to take it back as close as they can and then kick. There's the Sterling kick. Potter's going back, and Potter's going to take the tackle of Taylor. And there'll barely be time for the play the ball. In fact, there's not, and that is half-time. The most exciting 40 minutes of football. Canterbury scoring 2 tries to Parramatta's 1, and leading by 10 to 6. He looks okay, Mark. Try scorer for Canterbury, 1 of 2. Sterling now. That's 7.5 minutes of time to the third quarter siren. Sterling, Wynn. Taylor's with it. Sharp. Surely they'll try a wide play this time. Bugden ran a decoy. Here's his numbers here. Kenny juggled it behind him. Just not quite working the way they would like it. So close and yet so far, but it's still alive here with Sterling. Tackled about 5 metres out. That's 4 tackles gone against the blue and golds. Now it's out with Sharp. Mosley's got it. So that's tackle number 5. Where's the playmaker? It's Taylor this time. There goes his kick across the ground, and it's going over the dead ball line.
Well, Ray, we've been watching this third quarter now, and we've seen 15 minutes go by, and of that 15 minutes, Parramatta have dominated possession, and here they are again with another set of 6. Canterbury have just weathered it and weathered it. 1-1 as if, in fact, it's going to turn out in the fourth quarter, all that pressure.
Kenny, Jackson's put it down again. Well, Bill, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but it seems to me that Kenny has done everything possible to give his support some hope, and they just can't seem to catch the football. And here's another scrum win against the feed to Parramatta. I reckon that's 3 in the match. It is 3, so who you put that down to, I'm not sure, whether it's the front rowers or whether it's the hooker, but it's going to come out on Mosley's record of credits. It's not going to help Mark Bugden either. Here's Mayers taking it to within 9 metres of the line. So again, Canterbury Bankstown facing a Parramatta attacking raid. Bugden taking it up, but he's not running as fast anymore, is he? And the ball has been lost in the play, the ball. Quite a big crowd here at Leichhardt tonight. Probably not as big as I thought it would be, but loving every moment of it. Sterling desperately looking for a second runner behind Bugden. Price. Testimonial year for Ray Price and Mick Cronin. That information announced just a couple of days ago. Price kicks it forward. He's going to score. Yes. The old captain, courageous. He's done it plenty of times. He's done it again. You'll see it better on the replays than what you did in this particular passage of play. Well, he's kicked it straight through his legs. Who was the bloke? Paul Dunn, wasn't it? Well, look at Price. He's out there on his own. Well, there's the Foster's Lager replay of it. Nothing to tell you about except to say that when Paul Dunn's got his legs apart, there's plenty of room between them. Ella gets the further 2 points. There'll just be a little moment of play before the third quarter siren. Hardly have time to kick off. 12-10 in favour of the Eels. He's played very well as a replacement Elias in the matches I've seen from him. Probably not so much tonight, but it hasn't been a night to shine as a running second row anyway. And here's the kick by Steve Folkes going down to Jackson. And pretty close to the touchline. He didn't really know what to do with it, Jackson, and he's gone through and still going. Full back to beat. Comes to the 22 line. Pulled down from behind. Well, he did it all himself, the young man. Out to Sterling. Now Wynn. 10 metres away from the line. Parramatta looking strong to the left. That's where Sterling was going. Now he steps inside. Oh, Taylor's put it down again. Well, I've never seen Paul Taylor have a worse game of football.
If Canterbury are going to kick, now's the time to do it. Taylor was up in the line. He hasn't made his way back to the traditional fullback spot. A lot of yardage to be gained from the long kick.
Big tackle by Bugden and Sharp on Dunn. Canterbury out to the 22. There's the Foster's Lager replay of the big men at work. And, by Jove, it must have been very close to bringing a penalty. A win now. 5 gone for the Eels. What will Sterling do this time? The kick, a torpedo into the bottom corner. Getting a roll on. Michaelton's coming fast. Callanan's in the in goal. Well, it worked exactly the way they wanted it to. They're betting each way. They're betting on a Canterbury mistake, possibly a try, but they're aiming for the line drop out to get the ball back. Muggleton went very fast down that flank. Sterling's become a nightmare for more teams than just Canterbury in a distinguished career. But the rules the way they are now, he's become an even bigger pain in the neck. This is Peter Wynn. Mears. Whoa! Did I see something there? Now Langmack is suggesting that somebody was bitten. Peter Mortimer is suggesting he was bitten. If they in fact are going to allege as such, it has to be done on the field. The complaint has been made by Canterbury. Ray Price is in there trying to get across to Roberts that if they're complaining about the bite, would you just let Mears explain what might have happened to him? I'm not obviously sure what happened. But Parramatta have finished up with the penalty. Sterling. Well, our stats man is saying that Price was saying that Mears was wearing a mouth guard. So where did the teeth mark come from? Sterling's Price. Fair dinkum man's got to be Perry Mason to work all this out. Anyway, let's get back to this football. Price to play it, 10 metres out. Through to Taylor, on to Kenny. Little juggle, but that's become customary. He's come out the other side almost. Is that 4 tackles, Kevin, or 5? He's getting his hand dangerously high. Ella, that's 5. Thank you. He's getting his hand pretty high when he's giving the 4th tackle indication. Sterling, and fielded back in the in goal there by Canterbury Bankstown's Steve Folkes it was. Price tackled about 9 metres out from the line. Taylor is injured just behind the play of the ball. This is Mosley, pulled down by Langmack. 7 minutes of time remaining. Sterling, that's sharp, and running onto it was Mark Laurie. The ball on the ground, still a chance. Lillis out to Muggleton, and Muggleton has put it down, an absolute sitter. Have a look at it again on the Foster's Lager replay. Sterling, this is Lillis. The guy with 17 on his back, the jumper that Bugden couldn't get into. Have a look at him. He's not a little man by any means. Across to Ella, holding it back, turning back into the middle, getting away from a very tired tackle from John Elias. Sterling, jinking, turning, finding Steve Sharp, and he's over for a try, Sharp. Steve Sharp scores, and it's a very excited Parramatta team at the moment. They lead by 16 points to 10. Look at Michael Mosley. He loves every moment of it. Sterling was jinking his way around and dancing, and then big Steve Sharp, well, not big Steve Sharp, he's not very big at all, really. He plunged over for the try, the second that we've seen him score on television this year.
Sterling initiated it all with some fancy footwork. He stood in the tackle, got the pass to Sharp, and he just exploded his way over the line with the defence clinging to his back.
Well, the quarter-final has been won by Parramatta. Most definitely, they've been the form club in the competition, the Winfield Cup so far. And they've continued that run of success tonight against a Canterbury team that had a hell of a lot of players on the bench, and they've done very well to finish within 6 points. Ella, Price, Sharp for Parramatta scored tries. Ella kicked 2. For Canterbury, Folkes, Bugden tries, and Lamb kicked 1.
So Fairfield now have brought it up to almost halfway, a couple of metres short, and Mark McPherson with the tap, coming onto it strongly. Patrick Gleeson, big and tough. McPherson again through Watson, picking up his other prop, Finale. And then midway between the quarter and halfway in Cambridge Park's territory, goes through Jason Robertson. And up there in the line, Craig Love and Bukowski. Back again through Watson, Jason Robertson for his brother. Oh, beautifully put through. This is Surly and go for the line. Oh, yes. Fairfield started with a bang, and they looked ominously dangerous as soon as they got it. Beautifully put through, and the score 4-0 in favour of Fairfield in the opening minutes of play.
I thought from the time this play the ball took place that Cambridge Park were a little bit slow to move up back on this blind side. We can see that Fairfield had plenty of room to work in, but it was a great ball from the number 9, Bukowski. He fired it back onto Surly. He didn't have a lot of room to work in, but he made the most of it, was able to go through the fullback's tackle to come up with a great 4-pointer.
Well, they've tore into the opposition from the start, and here it is coming through Watson and then Jason Robertson and then to Bukowski, and this is the young centre Sully, strong, can break tackles, and boy, hard to shut down after that run. So the scoreline at Leichhardt in our Commonwealth Bank Cup, Patrician Brothers Fairfield leading Cambridge Park High 4 points to 0. Now coming onto it smartly is Hartis, Scott Hartis, the son of the co-coach Nick Hartis, And Fairfield certainly applying the pressure through Gleeson. And McPherson puts a nice one through. Oh, good one here from White. White looking for support. Can he offload? Gets it to McPherson. And he's brought down about 2 metres out from the goal line. Good stuff there, Billy.
That was good play again by Patrician brothers. They played the hole in behind the play the ball area. They found a gap there. The break was made by Kyle White. He came to the fullback McKay. McKay did enough to slow him down, and then the cover defence was able to tidy him up, and he couldn't get an effective pass away. It went forward, and the referee put down the scrum.
Watson to Jason White. Oh, gee, that's easy. That was, they were hot to put on another try very smartly, and that was Robertson. But the spade work from Mark Watson, and Jason Robertson had very little to do but the finishing.
Well, it was a good play here between the half and the 5'8". Watson drew the defence, fired it onto Robertson. He showed some fancy footwork and was able to score adjacent to the post.
Well, they're making quick use of the ball, Bill. Braving, searching, running, all pumped up, and they're pretty rock solid in defence as well. There he is again, Jason Robertson, the young 5'8" for Patrician Brothers Fairfield. So scoreline 10-0 in favour of Fairfield, and Watson making a nice break and getting it over beautifully to White. What back up? Here's the lock forward going again. Can he score? Yes! Oh, freeze that moment for him. Almost a one-man act, but he got a lovely ball on a narrow side from Watson, but nothing more than an excellent try from the lock forward.
Well, you can see here the importance of scrummaging. For the second time in this game, it was a scrum won against the head by Patrician Brothers. They scored a try from the last one, and they did it again from this one. The halfback, Watson, ran a little bit wide from the scrum. He picked up his lock forward. He skirted the sideline, carried defence with him, but he still came up with the goods.
Well, they're certainly applying the pace. They're staying with it and doing the bulk of making the inroads. And there was that lovely pass from Watson. And look at White. Kyle White there, locked forward. He's almost a one-man war machine in the opening minutes of play. He's been instrumental in a couple of the tries. This one is... Oh, what a cracker! Beautiful conversion from McPherson. So the score bounces along now. Our scoreline 16-0 in favour of Fairfield over Cambridge Park High. And going for a scoot is McPherson, clever organiser around the rucks. Came to Patrician Brothers Fairfield from Bomaderry, the young hooker. And so they've gained territory midway between the quarter and halfway in Cambridge Park's territory. Now Jamie Robertson, Paul Robertson. Here's Sully. Sully cracking on the pace. Over the quarter, looks back on the inside, gets it to Salerno. Here's Robertson, whips it over. That's a lovely try to love. Beautiful. That was pace and control and thrills and a beautiful finish. Embodied everything, and the fans loved it. Listen to the applause. No try?
Well, it's not a try, this one. They did everything right, but the final pass was forward, and referee Dennis Spagarino was right on the spot to pick it up.
Well, I was just having a look up there at the scoreboard to see it go up to 20-0. So anyhow...
They're just not making first-up tackles, Cambridge Park, and you've got to do that at this level of competition.
Here comes Watson, offloading it nicely. And Gleeson makes the quarter before he's brought down by Burns there. Through Watson, Jason Robertson, Paul Robertson, Sully. Big lump of a centre, gets around two. Bad pass again. Ashpole says, hey, blimey, this is not my night.
He's earning his money.
Is he ever? Hasn't copped one good one all night. There's Watson with a little prod through. He'd go through. I'll wait for Spagarino this time. And that's fine. Well, that's a special moment for the young fella. He filed it all, showed all the skill that he really needed. There's the prod forward from the young halfback, chased after it and planks it.
Mark Watson's having a fine game. He was instrumental in the last two tries when he set them up with a fine pass, but this time he did it all himself. He kicked the ball ahead and dropped on it for the 4 points.
And just a little left of the upright. So that's the scoreline. Patrician Brothers Fairfield leading Cambridge Park High 20-0. Kyle White, tough, very hard competitor. And in the early moments of tonight's match, in fact, right throughout the first half, with a lovely ball given out to Kyle Ashpole that brought down well 10 metres inside Cambridge Park's territory. Bukowski through Watson. Jason Robertson, Paul Robertson, lovely, on to Sully. Sully has two up here. Love on the inside. He's got support. Finale. But a lovely, attractive attacking movement with tremendous backup on each side of the ball carrier, Bill.
That was another great break, and that one was initiated by Paul Robinson. Last year we saw him score many tries in this competition. Tonight he's acted more as a pivot in the back line.
Yeah. Putting on the pace a little. Now Robertson. He's been well marked tonight, but at the same time he's just acted in the role of feeding his support.
A la Mick Cronin.
Very much so, Bill. Quite. Now McPherson through Watson. Jason Robertson. Brother Paul. Sully. There's a free pass. This is to Ash Pole. Can he make it? Over, yes! What a touch of speed went into that try. Lovely passing and rolled off through some marvellous running and ending up with some marvellous scoring.
Good quick hands here across the back line. Ash Pole had been waiting all evening to get a pass with just a little bit of room to move, and he finally got it. He found himself unmarked, transferred the ball into the correct hands so that he could palm off if it was necessary, headed back in field, used his shoulder to barge his way over for the try.
Straight away to McPherson.
If you just have a look on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the defence for Cambridge Park hardly going up at all. They're just leaving so much room for the outside backs for Patrician Brothers Fairfield to work in.
And Patrick Gleeson having a picnic, a big 10-metre run from the big prop now. Bukowski.
And
straight away to Watson.
They'll take advantage of this here in a moment.
Here goes White. Lovely backup, Jason Robertson. It'll go in for a try. You can't beat that. Another special moment from Fairfield, but they ran it home for the side. Excitement continues. What a match, what a try, and the crowd loving it.
Well, we'd pinpointed that the defence wasn't moving up. Watson fired the ball to the right-hand side in attack, but it very quickly came back to the centre of the field where the Cambridge Park defence hadn't moved up. There was some good passing, but some very ineffective tackling. The ball finally went on to Jason Robertson. Robertson's got good feet. It was his second try of the match. He stepped off the left foot and then crashed his way over.
And finale now is about 15 metres out, about 35 metres out from Cambridge goal line. Watson, place ball to Scott Bolger. And Bolger now 32 metres out from the goal line. But it's Fairfield or Fairfield through Watson. Now coming to Robertson, a lovely pass. Sully back inside. Robertson it is. And that's beautiful work. Not prettier than that tonight. A cracker try and a great 4 penneth worth for Fairfield, who now lead 34-0.
Once again, it was this sweeping backline play by Patrician Brothers that was able to score them the try. It went very quickly along their backline. Robinson made the initial break onto Sully, and I think it was the lock forward Kyle White that was backing up like a good lock forward should on the inside to take the final pass and then go over.
You know, it's strange, Bill, as we watch Fairfield here tonight. Fairfield's won the Cup every 3 years. 75, I think my memory serves me correct, 78. This is Sarkissian again, 81, 84. So if that be so, and the statistics run the same way, 87 should be again the year that they take the Commonwealth Bank Cup. But the way that they're playing tonight, Mark Watson, oh yes, and if ever a fella deserved a try, Watson. He's run well in attack, he's set up plays. Whenever he touches the ball, there's a chance of something happening, and it did again that time when he went over to score that try, 40-0.
Mark Watson initiated all with a pass to the outside. You can see here he's just looped around and waiting for the return pass. The ball went on the outside and it finally came back to him. If good footballs will support, the tries will come. He then faked a pass on the inside. That was enough to stand the defence up and he went on with the job.
In the match, so Fairfield they're really through as favourites in one of the most disciplined and polished performances I think we've seen this year, Bill.
It's been more than that. It's been a performance where they've been almost faultless. As a matter of fact, they've only given away one penalty, and that was a differential.
So 40-0 is our scoreline here. Patrician Brothers Fairfield over Cambridge Park High.
The last Saturday's match of the day was somewhat of a local derby. South Sydney were at home to Eastern Suburbs. For Arthur Beeston's Roosters, it was a vital game after some heavy recent losses. But of course, South Sydney, who were in great form, they went to the match as favourites.
Fennick. Lost his boot in it. Coleman again, Jura. Now Chisholm will play it. We're back to the fourth tackle. Coleman searching for some room there. Now Roberts off Gould. This is a good run by Ian Roberts. He's looked threatening every time he's taken the ball up. Last tackle, Gould. The grubber for Moon. Retrieved by Gary Worth. Bennett. Hardy. Hastings in there. Batiste. South's offside.
Good passage of play by South Sydney there, and this young fella, the Ian Roberts, the prop forward, he certainly is the star of the future. Making inroads into that Roosters defence. And they'll have to tighten their defence. You may have noticed on the poor play the balls there, they crossed the advantage line.
Quick spread from Spina. Gilmeister. Batiste drops it. Well, it wasn't a knock-on. Must have been close to it. Truella to play it for Easts. Hastings from Spina. Back in the middle. Fennick under him. Tidied up by Melrose to McLean. Gilmeister. That's Hastings. Right down to the corner for Baker. Baker has support, but he's made a good run. Busted a couple of them. Good recovery by Neil Baker. Ross. Coleman. East anxious to nip the attack in the bud. Well inside the 5, and Baker's first chance for points. This should be an easy one, even though it's into the breeze. No mistake. First points to South. 7 minutes gone, 2-0. Roberts. Coleman calls for it. Little one for Jura. Off Hastings. Here's a chance out wide to Jason Moon. Touched by Easts. Cobsey to play it for Souths. Davidson charges at the line. Fennick from Gould. That's Andrews. Just a few metres away. Gould again. Roberts. East defence really stretched by South now. Coleman to Jura. Can't slip the overhead pass. Fennick. Grubber kick. Just hit the corner post. Good one from Coleman. And Bell was back there in any case. Fennick, Coleman, Roberts again. Coleman to Davidson, back to Coleman. Now Jura, Moon. Hobji. Last tackle for Souths. Now what's the play? It's Baker. Coleman, here's a show. Harrington goes in, crashes over the top. As he scored, he's over. Well, Eastern Suburbs were waiting for the kick on the last tackle, and Neil Baker sensed it. Baker set it up to Coleman. Coleman into space. Nicely timed pass, and Harrington crashed over the tackle to score a great South try. Gary Worth, who tried to tackle Harrington, out cold there. It's no surprise he may have copped a knee as Harrington went over. He tried to take him head on. Harrington's a very, very big man, and look at this. Crash. straight through the tackle. Clearly, Worth's copped a knee in the head. And the wind's just caught it, knocked it arrive inside the posts, but Souths with a very, very good lead. Melrose out into the centres. There's Bell. Good run. Right, I think Steve-O's back with us at last. Batiste fires it wide to Katsagiannis. Batiste. East lose it. Roberts is there to pick up the crumbs. He's surrendering possession yet again. Coleman to Jura. Jura probing for the gap. Fennick. Now Chisholm just in his territory. Gould.
They're making ground all the time.
Fennick. Right, last tackle, Gould. Madison. Back he comes with Bell. That's a really good run from Bell. But he loses the ball again. East keep doing that. South's off again. Baker to Jura. Back to Baker. Out there's Moon. He's seen some daylight. Knocked down by East. Count starts again. Souths have got the ball. Jura plays it. Coleman. Brett Ross. South's playing inspired football here. Roberts continually leading it up, and his defence has been fantastic in his first half. Fennick. That's Baker. Baker half through. Andrews. Beautifully picked up by Ross. Off the deck, no problem. Play on, he wasn't held. Here goes Roberts. And it was the last tackle. Gould looking to set it up. Chisholm to Coleman, look at this. Coleman trying to get the pass out, can't slip it. Or pass it to there, they could have been in. South still a chance. Gould. Away to Davidson. Phil Gould. Deft stuff. It's lost by Chisholm. And McGann's got it.
Lucky to get away with it there, Eastern Suburbs. Their defence all at sea. The switching of play, the good forward play by South Sydney just really got this side on the rack at the moment.
Bell. It's almost half-time. He's struggling, look at that. That's Hardy. East all over the place in possession.
They're so disorganised, Jim.
Bell. Well, here comes the last tackle. Might be the last play of the half, and he still can't get on the board. There's the siren now. A big kick from Melrose, and it's going to go dead, and that is half-time. A great effort by South Sydney playing into the breeze. Half-time. South Sydney in front. 6-0. Arthur Beetson without the meat pie. Look at that, McGann straight through. Has he got some support there? It's dropped by Spina. It's only his third scrum win. McGann, quick ball. Katsagiannis has got Bell with him. Here goes Bell. Can he stretch out? He's got plenty of speed. Down the touchline. Here comes Baker. Baker trying to cover. Good tackle. And East make a meal of it. Madison was on the inside, couldn't take it. Good cover by Baker.
Good run by Bell, but once again, panic football. He should have taken the tackle here. Desperation. They don't need to do that.
Hastings. Just a couple of metres to go. And they can level it here. Melrose. Bell. Still pretty disorganised. No one seems to know what's happening. Hardy, he has a go. McLean from dummy half. Last tackle for Easts. They've been in this spot for about 5 of them. Melrose chips ahead. Who wants it? And it's Baker back there to kick it dead. Melrose. Someone swallowed it. Didn't make any difference in the end. They gathered him in. Spina. Terribly disorganised again. Melrose, another grubber. Putting it behind the fence for Baker to clean up. But East's attack is woeful. Fennick. Baker. Charged down by Easts. Look at Roberts. Wasn't that fantastic? He said, well, if you don't want it, bang, I'll grab it. And he launched himself in spectacular fashion with the count starting again. Here goes South. Davidson. Coleman. Roberts. It's against Steve Hardy.
You can't miss this one. Just around his face.
Neil Baker is feeling for his left knee out there. He's doing a few stretching exercises. Here's Jura's shot. Is it straight? This time, yes. Dead straight. Bronco Jura, 2 more points. Souths 8-0 ahead. Spina. Here's Bell. He's back inside to who? Madison. Spina was in there, and Souths have denied it again. Davidson. East have got it this time. Gilmeister. Now's a chance. Here's Chihuahua into a bit of space. Mown down by Fennick. Trevor Patterson. Spina. Trevor Patterson away to Melrose. That's the long one to Madison. McGann will have a go. And the ball goes into touch. Madison to McGann. Support. Slowed up. Spina to Melrose. Now Bell. Fine tackle. Nice and low from Brett Ross. Bell plays it forward to his Kiwi mate McGann. He's all over the paddock. That's Salvatore, 39. Craig Salvatore. Batiste, wide. Bennett! Bennett looks for some support from Leggett. Well, it's more promising, but it's all a bit late. Woolies had good wins in the earlier grades, but they're struggling to get on the board here. It's still 8-0 to South. Batiste to McGann. Here goes Bell on another run. Ross misses him this time. Chisholm across. And Cruikshank's there to put him down. Gilmeister. Melrose. Batiste. Truella. That's Melrose.
He's tried hard as the Truella, the lock forward, playing hooker at the moment.
Patterson holding it free to Leggett. Leggett close. Last tackle on its way for Easts. Spina. Melrose the flick. Gilmeister. He's close. And it's a try to Salvatore. Craig Salvatore, the prop forward from under 23s, has scored the try. But it's all too late for Easts. They're on the board at last, but time's almost up in this game. It's something they've been trying to do for 80 minutes. And at last, they've combined to put a try together.
A good flick pass back inside. And here we go. And Salvatore going in for a try. Well-deserved try. That's what they should have been doing early in the game. Keeping hold of the ball. You see, watch a lovely flick pass here. Here it goes, back inside. And that's what they wanted to do early in the game. They're finding the gaps now. But I assure you, South Sydney, they know the game's well and truly over. Only seconds remaining.
Melrose kicks the goal. So that's it. The siren's gone. It's full time. Melrose added the extras. And East, who had heaps of chances, have gone down by 2 points.
Welcome to the NEC big game for this round 6 match in the Winfield Cup between Parramatta and Western Suburbs. Well, Parramatta come into this game after a big win over Cronulla last weekend to keep their unbeaten record intact. And the Magpies, although further down the competition table, in recent weeks have had a draw with Canterbury and last Sunday a good win over Canberra. Today's clash of the Westerners comes from the Parramatta Stadium. The last time we were here was for that memorable first match between the Eels and St George. John Mooney, as coach of Parramatta, must be very happy with his team's early season form. And there's their team rundown for today. Taylor, Ella, Jackson, Laurie, Atkins, Kenny, Sterling, Price, Sharp, Mayers, Jerd, Mosley and Leabeater. Steve Goshen, the West coach, he calls today's match a game of opportunity. An opportunity to maybe cause an upset win. The Magpies team for today is Petherbridge, Williams, Gale, Naden, Sheehan, Neal, Brett Clark, Schubert, McFarlane, Bilberger, Bruce Clark, Fowler and Freeman. And the referee for today is Mick Stone. Parramatta going from left to right in our second telecast match from the stadium. And it's McFarlane who plays it for the Magpies. A big week for them with a new sponsor, Masterton Homes. And of course it's been the most successful year for them so far, into the quarters of the National Panasonic. This breeze is coming from behind the Magpies in the first half of the match. Paul Taylor had a dreadful game on Wednesday night. He really needed to catch that ball cleanly, and that's hurt him, the tackle too, Taylor. Sterling, Kenny. Cut out ball wide for Ella. In the centres, Ella. Atkins to the 32-metre line. Ella now a dummy half. He's had a busy start, Ella. He kicked off. He's made a long run and a dummy half. This is Leabeater. Referee calling Bruce Clark, the Magpies captain, out. And also called right across the ground is Williams, the winger, number 2. Penalty to Parramatta. So talking of Steve Ella, he'll now take this penalty kick at goal. Breeze, as I said, behind West in the first half. Let's get an estimate in points from Graham Hughes on the sideline.
Well, Ray, an estimate of points, I would say that it would have to be worth at least 6 to 8 points to any first-grade side. The big crux of the question today, of course, is I think the first 20 minutes might settle the issue with this one. Parramatta can't allow to leave Western Suburbs into the game at half-time, so they're the ones that have got to find themselves on the scoreboard and in front.
Miller's about 13 metres in. He's about 23 metres out. One of the game's very fine players. Looked okay, but it's gone a little bit to the wire, to the left of the uprights. And Brett Clark is doing his damnedest to get back into the field of play, and did. Good work by young Clark. Penalty to West. It's against the tackler. Lee Beater, this giant of a man on camera at the moment. There's a chance he wasn't going to play in this match. Featherbridge finding the line. Freeman. Parramatta 14-11, 123s, 15-6 they won reserve, so they're going for the treble. There's Bruce Clark on the blind. Brett Clark, and that's a good kick. Always was going to be a menace to the man trying to catch it, but he's found a lot of meters. First scrum of the day to Parramatta. The head-geared centre is Marklow. This is Price. Number 9 from West going in with what looked like a cheap shot. And now it's a penalty. It'll be against Schubert. So Schubert came reeling out of it. And Price stood over him as if to say, what did you do that for? Schubert seems to be the man that's come out of it second best. Sterling kicking towards the Michael Cronin stand. That's the eastern stand. Crowd, I would estimate, you might think I'm crazy, but I think there's about 23,000 here. And that's unheard of in the modern era. For these two clubs. This is Jerd. Play just outside the quarterway line. Paul Mayers stands in Schubert's tackle, finds Jerd. They're 15 metres out from the Magpies line. Sterling holding it back. It came off the head of Price. No knock on there. But there is now off Atkins, and the scrum will go down. This ball from Sterling hits the head of Ray Price. No knock on. And the scrum forming anyway following a breach a little bit further out. Now it's a penalty to West that takes us to the sidelines now. Graham Hughes with, I would think, a proud as punch secretary, Rick Wade.
Thanks, Ray. Of course, it's been a big week for you, Rick, and you were the happiest man in Sydney Rugby League when West were finally given the Sunday game.
Yes, it's great to be back in the big time, as the headlines on the Monday papers said. Of course, it's been very exciting with Marston & Holmes joining us as the major sponsor for us, and coming in now on hopefully a trifecta if we can pull it off.
You mentioned to me there's a bonus there from Jim Marston.
Yes, $500 per man for a win today. Yeah, so he's a very generous man, and he's just walked straight into the club as if he'd been around the place for a long time. He's a great guy to deal with, and so are the other executives at Marston.
How was the confidence and how was the atmosphere in the dressing room before they went on?
Pretty good. I think the guys, from their recent form, they believe in themselves, and they'll give it everything.
Well, good luck. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks very much, Graham.
The Magpies with the ball now on their own 32-metre line. Charge down. Here's a chance. Shut the gate. Schubert
versus Sterling. Now Kenny comes into the play, and a try. A try that has been well rehearsed, which might sound rather stupid to say, but the number of tries Parramatta have scored off a charge down from little Peter Sterling is quite incredible. Here's the NEC replay. Actually, I've got to be honest, I think Schubert was going to get him. I sold out on Schubert, but he was going to get him, and then Kenny came up, and that was just absolutely and totally it.
A great play by Peter Sterling to come through quickly and knock the ball down. I must say I was surprised he didn't have the pace to go on with it himself, but he found the ever-present Brett Kenny, who always seems to lob up in these sorts of situations, who was able to go on with it.
Taking the kick for the goal now from about 20 metres in from touch. The charge down, just to explain it a little bit more fully, is one whereby the defender charges the ball down off the rising boot of the opponent. That one hits the post. No extras there for Parramatta, and the scoreline is Parramatta 4, Western Suburbs nothing. Schubert getting us going again, and Sterling is going to send Jackson out into the field of play. A run of some 18 metres for young Jackson. Away goes Mosley. He's suddenly come into contention as a representative hooker, Mosley. Leadbeater leaving it behind. The referee says it was knocked backwards. There's a problem for West on Parramatta's right. If they go right now, it might be too late right now, but there certainly was a shortage a couple of seconds back. There's the long ball, supporting what I said. Mayers, now Price. Look at the old man. Oh, I shouldn't say that about him. He might get up in the box with me. But a good long run by Price right down that right flank. Now it's Kenny. Sterling cuts it. Oh, came off the head of Mosley, picked up by Michael Neal. It's Naden. Goes very fast over an early part of ground. Back now for Petherbrick. Clark.
Something we should mention at this early stage is that the minimum size of an in-goal area is 6 metres and the maximum size is 11. I'd say these ones at the Parramatta Stadium are the absolute maximum, and that'll give Peter Sterling plenty of opportunities to create a nightmare.
Here's a good run by Gale right down the touchline, and young Brett Clark has combined with Brett Gale. It's a try for the Magpies. They had to strike back very quickly, and this they've done. Brett Gale, the older brother of the Balmain halfback, but this little fellow on the NEC replay who won our Man of the Match award the other night, he skipped under a tackle in Hardwick fashion is the way I describe it, and then this former lock forward second rower Brett Gale powered his way over the line for a Western Suburbs try.
Well, all that happened here was that the halfback Clark kept stepping off the right foot, and as tackle after tackle missed him, he stepped further and further across the Parramatta defensive line. This gave Gale the opportunity with the overlap. He showed plenty of pace and strength to power his way over.
So the Magpies, they really had to strike back quickly to keep their confidence level high, and that's what they've done. Thanks to that man, Brett Gale, and now Schubert's got the chance for the extras. Parramatta scratching their heads and saying, how the hell did that happen? I'll tell you how it happened. Brett Clark, he dug his way under a tackle. Schubert's kick looks immaculate. Ah, good kick by the shoe. Magpies leading Eels by 6-4. Steve Ella kicks off, takes plenty of turf, and Schubert now comes back. This is Alan Fowler, the Western Suburbs hooker. 10 minutes gone, Graham. How are you seeing it?
Well, Ray, there's an old adage from a man called Tim Pickup that used to play with Canterbury Bankstown. Tim always used to say, whenever we run out in that field, make sure we get our defence in order in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Parramatta are very determined to spread this ball wide and try and open the game up, and they're searching out to the flanks. When you do that, you can easily fall foul, and your own defence starts to become somewhat of a bit of a shambles. And I think that's what Parramatta are finding themselves in it. The more they open it up, well, that's helping Western Suburbs as well.
Parramatta taking play up towards the halfway. Played by Graham Atkins. This is Mark Laurie. Parramatta's missed 7 tackles. Western Suburbs at this stage have got a low count in that area. That can be misleading, though, that statistic. Of course, it depends on how much you've got the ball. This is the 5th tackle as Sterling puts the kick in. And it's going right back down into the very deep in-goal area with Sheehan. And they've trapped him. Has he fought his way back? No, it's a line dropout, I think. Oh, geez. Nick Stone reckons that he made the field of play. Well, fair enough.
Yeah, I thought he did too. I thought that he actually just put the hand out with the ball in it. Even though his body was in the in-goal area, the ball was in the field of play.
Fair enough. This is Naden. Williams, I should say. Across now for Petherbridge to get a kick in. A very valuable one too. It takes a lot of the pressure off the Magpies. Jackson going back. Sterling's with him. Now Ella's linked up with Sterling. Ella in 2.
That is a small problem that West have had a couple of occasions they've kicked the ball. The kick's been a fairly good one, but their line's gone through in a ragged fashion rather than as a straight line, and that's left holes.
Laurie now, down to the 22 and beyond. Dummy half is Mosley. Parramatta getting organised now. Sterling. Steve Sharp. Freeman coming over the top there of a tackle by Brett Gale. Mears not running onto it. 12 metres out from the West line. Sterling cuts out Jerd, finds Kenny. There's awful trouble for the man in front of him. Gets it back now for Big Stan Jerd. There's a try. Well, that was a very, very soft try, really, because all that happened really was Sterling probing, putting Kenny very close to the line, and he did likewise. You'll see it all again on the NEC replay. In fact, I thought Kenny probably would have stood the West fullback up. He didn't. He stood in the tackle, and then Jerd, with superior strength, was able to beat off at least a 2-man Western Suburbs defence.
Sterling's thrown a number of long passes in this game. Some have gone to ground, but this one found its mark with Kenny running into a hole. He turned and found Stan Jerd that was able to just push his way through some fairly flimsy defence.
Stan Jerd, he's making a habit of scoring tries this year. Ella still striving for success. Parramatta back in front. 8 points to 6. This time Ella's missed it again. So, scoreline unchanged. Parramatta, 8 points. Western Suburbs, 6. Mosley takes the tap. Kenny. And plenty of crosses there from Parramatta, but Leabeater is the man who goes to ground with it. Now it's Price. Kenny. Cut out ball. Jackson will score in the corner. Yes, it's a try for Brian Jackson. Well, as you said, Bill, it can cause them some troubles, but at the same time, by golly, I tell you what, They can create awful problems for most teams, and let me say this to you, in watching the NEC replay, they would have worked very much on spreading the ball quickly to the extremities for Wednesday night. It didn't work very well on Wednesday night, but it's obviously starting to click into gear today.
There is a great variety of passes here. Firstly, the short ball by Ray Price to Brett Kenny to bring the defence in, and then the long ball over the top by Kenny to Jackson. Great Parramatta football.
Jackson, a rookie for Parramatta. He was a star in the lower grades last year, but he slotted in when Mick Cronin got hurt, and he's done, well, not so much when Mick got hurt, but when Mark Laurie and Mick both got hurt, he's done a fine job, this young man, Brian Jackson. Of course, he's got the right coloured hair for the job at Parramatta. Long and blonde. Steve Ella hasn't been far from the money. Been so close he can smell it. 22 metres out, 2 in, he's missed it. And so the scoreline remains unchanged. Parramatta 12 with 3 tries. Western Suburbs 6. Sterling and all the youngsters watching this telecast how to take that ball that doesn't bounce favourably for you on the feet first and pick it up. Mosley.
You can see already that Naden and Gale, the 2 Western Suburbs centres, are both caught on the other side of the field, and while it's probably not that dangerous with Parramatta being in their own quarter, if they were to do that in a more attacking situation, Parramatta would cut them to shreds.
Leibiter standing, offloading back to Taylor. A magnificent complex this is. Long ball, Ella down the sideline, inside pass for Laurie to put down.
Laurie might have been unlucky there. My first thoughts were the ball came off his foot.
There's a wide angle shot of the ground. As I said, 23,000 would be my guess. It could even be higher. Neighbouring clubs, of course, the black and whites and the blue and golds. Caution here for Ray Price has been spoken to. Taylor's in the middle of it. Clark and Freeman are the 2 Magpies. Michael Neal feeding it. Same time. Wrist ball. Sheehan. Tackled by Ella. Gale. Petherbridge. Petherbridge got through Taylor's tackle. He dragged Kenny along the ground, got the ball back to Willie Williams. It goes back and behind to Brett Clark, and he's been tackled eventually by Paul Taylor. Now it's Fella, Gale, Petherbridge.
Western Suburbs showing they've got no troubles shifting the ball around. They can do that. They're going to have not many problems scoring tries. They're just having difficulty in stopping them.
Put down by Bilberger. He was formerly with the Tigers, Johnny Bilberger. He then came to Parramatta. Now he's with West. This is Ella. And now it's Atkins. Back on the Parramatta 22. Ray Price. Mosley, tackled by Schubert. Jerd. Here's the kick from Sterling. It's a high ball for Petherbridge. Mears makes the tackle. Well, you see replay of Rod Petherbridge going high, getting his side around to the oncoming defence. Everything absolutely correct from Petherbridge. Clark to Bilberger. Back to Clark. Now it's Naden. Tackle by Mears. Bruce Clark. Straight through. Pulled down by Mears and Trice. Neal. Brett Clark. Long ball. Brett Gale. Intercepted by Kenny. Oh! Hang on, where's the opposition gotten to? Brett Kenny snatching it out of the air, as we've seen so often from him. His critics, of course, would say, what about the man that he leaves unmarked? But I think his record reads out fairly satisfactorily. Watch him again. And there he goes, swooping in like a graceful swallow. And another Brett Kenny intercept try goes firmly underneath the crossbar.
Western Suburbs had the numbers. They spread the ball to the left-hand side. Brett Kenny found himself in a 3-on-2 situation. He took the odds to it and went in for the intercept. I've seen this man do it so many times in the past. He stuck out one hand. The ball fell into it. There was no way he was ever going to lose it. He looked around for the defence to see if it was coming, but it was nowhere near him.
Brett Kenny. Steve Ella. Oh, he's got one. That'll make him happy. Steve Ella kicks his first goal, and Parramatta zooming right away, leading by 18 points to 6. And Schubert's kick taken again by Sterling on the foot.
Western Suburbs have now got to get their game back into shape, because the one thing that Parramatta do is when their backs start to get on top, they become absolutely ruthless.
I made the comment before the match that West could not have picked a worse time to play Parramatta. One, the match was going to be at the stadium before this parochial crowd. And two, though they won on Wednesday, they know they played bad, and in particular, Brett Kenny. Now, Graham Hughes, you'd obviously have an opinion on that comment.
Well, Ray, I'm just a little bit shell-shocked down here. The game was opening up certainly Parramatta's way. West hit back very, very strongly. That sort of thing from Brett Kenny's the thing that can break any team. You mentioned about the fact that he may have left somebody uncovered when he picked up that intercept. Well, if Gale had have hung onto the ball, there was a big gap there for him, but that's just the individual brilliance that can break any team, and West were trying to very strongly get back into the game again at that stage.
This is Brett Clark. Bilberger. McFarlane. Clark. Freeman. See, that's... I was going to say that's dumb football, but that's a bit heavy. But
yeah, what it smacks of is lack of confidence.
Taking it up at a canter. You've got to take it up at full gallop. This is Williams now, and they've lost ground. They've had the ball, but they've lost ground, and they're on the 5th now, West. And now Schubert's desperately trying to get rid of it. Clark gets a kick in. That's a good piece of football by Brett Clark. And there's a Parramatta player on the ground. I'm just looking at the touch judges. They've both gone in. Taylor got felled. I think it's Schubert. I think it'll be Schubert, the man they're looking for. That was the kick for line. Schubert's holding his bottom jaw. Schubert's still checking the cheekbone and the jawbone areas. 10 minutes in the sin bin for Schubert. Ooh, if looks could speak.
Jerd, Kenny. Inside for Price, outside for Leadbeater. He's gone without it. Freeman can't pick it up. And which way is he going to rule? Knock-ons against both. And there's problems back here with Clark. I think he's injured. Is he what? In fact, Bruce could not get up, and he was lying on Ray Price, and Price had no alternative but just to wait there until somebody got him off. Price was saying to Clark, get off me, let me out of here. And Clark just couldn't move. So Price just lay there. There's the crowd stacked into the Michael Cronin. The players about to go again. Neil coming away with a scrum win for Wests. Oh dear, John Belvedere was looking at anything other than the ball. The ball coughing up. The replay tells the story. Mosley winning the scrum. It's out for Kenny. And Laurie down to the 22 line.
Western Suburbs defence now is in tatters.
Mosley, Price, Mosley. 15 metres out from the Magpies line. Sterling, Brett Kenny, cut out ball, we'll see a try. Taylor goes himself and is across, but can he get it down? But the referee's called it all back anyway. He's ruled a forward pass. Wednesday night, a double-header from Lang Park, Brisbane. And the feature match live to air at 7:30 in Sydney. Manly versus Combined Brisbane. Live at 7:30. Get that new time slot. Here's Laurie going back in field towards where the scrum is. Mark Laurie. A full night of football. That match on Wednesday night will be followed by Easts. And the winner of a qualifying match up there today in Port Moresby. Here's Kenny. There's trouble for the Magpies. Graham Atkins. Jackson goes in field. Well read by Brett Clark. Kenny, Price, run around. Kenny again with the ball. Stands, looks to offload, but can't. And they're 7 metres out from the Western Suburbs.
Oh, the ball's only got to go to the left, and they've got to score.
Long ball from Sterling. Stan Jerd will score a double. No, he fell over.
Well, the ball went to the side it had to, but Stan couldn't keep his feet.
Well, there's a penalty coming for Parramatta now. It's like backing a hurdler that's 12 lengths in front coming to the last, and he spills his lollies at the last jump. Sterling now. 2 metres out from the line.
Well, that shows you how confident Parramatta are. They could have thrown the ball over there for 2 points. They just took the tap.
Mosley goes from dummy half. He's short of the line. Kenny's calling for it. Price goes himself, and there's a try. Oh, how easy. This is going to be an embarrassing scoreline for Western Suburbs, the way things are going. I mean, one is entitled, I suppose, on the strength of the week they've had to get caught up in the Western Suburbs euphoria. But the way they're playing, they are going to get beaten from here to Burke by Parramatta.
Parramatta just too good on the score of experience and of class, and here you can see an example of it. Price realised he had the strength and the agility simply to push his way over from dummy half.
Ray Price, the try scorer, his second try on television at the stadium. Takes the kick, he gets it, and Parramatta are leading by 24 points to 6. Here's Ian Schubert coming back from the sin bin. Brett Kenny. Mosley. A lot of these Parramatta players have come through the Parramatta junior ranks, and I just want to very briefly mention that they buried one of their very fine junior officials, Ronnie Bridle, here at Parramatta during the week, and to his wife and family, our deepest sympathies from the team and from people in junior league. Terry Leibida to play it. This is Paul Mayers. 5 gone. What will Sterling do? Here he is. Kick. There's the siren sounding in the background, so Petherbridge will pick it up. And he forces it in the in-goal area, so that's the end of the first 40 minutes. And probably the way Rod Petherbridge finished it, it was almost like flying the white flag. 24 points to 6 the score. They're trailing by 18, and they've got quite a strong breeze blowing into their teeth now. And some very ominous clouds are building up towards the east. And there they are, in fact. As Terry Leibida charges ahead to a point about 10 metres his own side of halfway.
Western Suburbs will be trying to keep this as creditable as they can in the second half, but I doubt if they can.
Tackle counts, well, the highest 13 Mayers for Parramatta, 15 Bruce Clark for West, and that West count of 101 certainly tells the story of just who had the football for the longest periods of time. This is Rod Petherbridge running back towards the 22 line. Sheehan. Brett Clark. And number 9 is McFarlane. West have got a lot of players to come into this team. They've got some English imports, such as Fox, the English halfback. Lee Crooks is coming back. And Henderson, a centre that's possessed of a lot of speed, is to come back as well. And looking at that scoreboard, of course, they're going to need every bit of their talent if they're to play Parramatta too many times more in this competition. Penalty to the Magpies. Neil. There's Williams into the back line from the far wing. Clark. Bilberger. Mayers and Leibida throwing him to the ground. Brett Clark. Michael Neal. Clark again. Bruce.
Western Suburbs falling down on the fundamentals. They're just not deep and hitting the ball up so that they can get over the advantage line. You'd almost think that they were in defence, and yet they're in attack.
Brett Clark's kick is going to find touch just outside the 22-metre line.
Wait for it. Give him a ton of work. Give him a ton of work. Both of you.
Atkins.
Parramatta players doing some interchanging in the backs. Steve Ella for this set of 6 has gone to 5'8", and Brett Kenny's moved to the outside centre. And of course it's very difficult to be marking a team when you just don't know where your opponent's going to bob up.
Jerd to Sterling. Price. Ella's with him. Almost to the halfway. Leibida. Inside, a good ball for Steve Ella. He was looking for support. Mosley's coming up now. So is Jackson. Jackson is tackled. He got the ball away, though. But that's Steve Sharp tackled. And into touch about 5 metres out from the line. Here it was on the head-on cameras. And Brett Clark was the tackler. This is Neil now. Brett Clark getting some attention to the ribcage area. Petherbridge was thinking about what he was going to do rather than what he should be doing at that very point in time. So Parramatta's now almost certain to win this scrum. And they'll have 6 tackles inside the west 10-metre zone. Is the ball coming out the back of the tunnel for Price? Taylor. 5 metres out now. Sterling steps off his left, back to Mayers. Still 5 metres out. Looking for Kenny, he's wide to the right. This is Lee Beater. And Laurie's overrun it. Ian Maiden cut down about 15 metres out. Sheehan. Tackler is Atkins in 15. Bilberger tackled on the 22. Bruce Clark. Sharp and Price make the tackle, but he was able to offload it, and it's being played by McFarlane. Clark. Petherbridge. 24 points to 6 then in favour of the Eels. Clark. Charged down by Laurie, recaptured there by Schubert. 6 more tackles. Freeman. Brett Clark. And now pulled down is Bilberger. Here's Alan Burns, formerly from the North Sydney club, warming up in the tunnel. It will be played by Bruce Clark near the halfway line, appealing for a penalty. Michael Neal, Gale. Five tackles gone for the Magpies. Brett Clark. And it's going to be a scrum just outside the court. Jackson. To be played by Price. Lee Beater. Sterling. Kenny. Over the shoulder of Ella. It's gone back and picked up by Atkins. He bumps off one, and then it was Laurie who put it down. Maiden will play the ball for the Magpies. This is Brett Gale, the man who scored the try for Wests. It seems like an eternity back. Freeman. Brett Clark. And into a couple of heavies in the shape of Price and Mayers. Michael Neal. Goes for the bomb. There's a lot of pressure here for Taylor. And it's a penalty. No, it's not. It's the turnover. So the referee claiming that it wasn't touched by Parramatta. Here's the NEC replay of it. It wasn't Taylor, it was Sterling, in fact, in the contest, and West came down with the ball, and so the referee quite right in ordering the turnover. And he's given Bruce Clark 5 minutes in the bin. Yes, Bruce Clark has gone for 5 minutes, and Steve Ella is on his back. Let's see it again. Well, I tend to think he's got him for tripping. Kenny.
Parramatta playing now with little respect for Western Suburbs at all. Last time they had the ball, they rucked it out of their own in goal, and players were standing in tackles on their try line and still prepared to release them. They just got a penalty on their quarter. They didn't worry about kicking for touch. They just took the quick tap.
It won't be at all surprised if Moni replaces Ella. Even if Ella says he's all right, it won't surprise me if Moni gets him out of there fairly quickly with a 24-6 scoreline. He's favouring the leg, and he's talking to Graham Richards, their Zambuk. Brett Clark. Kenny all over the top of him. Here's McFarlane. Now it's Williams. Petherbridge. Held by Mayers. It's gone now to Sheehan. Inside to Williams. Tackled by Jerd. There's the ball out the back for Fowler. Around the corner for Naden. A good chance for him. Taylor lines him up. I've got a feeling he's lost the ball. So here it is on the head-on. He lost the ball actually in the field of play, and then Parramatta dived on it. It's a crazy rugby league rule, really. Totally ridiculous, because if the ball is projected forward, a la a knock-on, and the opposition gets no advantage from it, I can't see how a line dropout is an advantage. It's one of the silliest rules in the book.
I thought Naden showed a little bit of inexperience then. He could have wrong-footed Paul Taylor with a bit of an in and away. That would have slowed Taylor down. As it was, he just set off at the try line, and of course Taylor got to him and stopped him short.
This is McFarlane.
I'm very impressed so far with Wilfred Williams, the Western Suburbs winger. He's the one man that's looking like he is a powerful runner, and can he push through a little bit of a gap.
Penalty to Wests. Fowler it is that takes it a good distance ahead. I'm just getting the impression watching Parramatta that they ran to 24-6 in the first half. Here's another penalty to West against Price.
I think it's a penalty that's gone the wrong way.
Neil, Petherbridge. I just think we're going to say, I get the impression that Parramatta have just gone out there in the second half to go through the motions. They've lost interest. Bilberger. Brett Clark. Williams. Back inside for Clark. Tackled by Jerd. Long ball out and behind Petherbridge. That's cost them ground. Michael Neal. Through McFarlane out to Gale. Gale to Bilberger. He'll run around him, but Bilberger unable to get the ball around to him. McFarlane to the blind side for Neal. Clark. Grubber kick through. Taylor's coming across. Gets a favourable bounce. Can he make the field of play? Naden's got him tied up. And Taylor forces the ball in goal. Thinking to the bargain, either the tackler or the man tackled is hurt. They're both hurt. So Parramatta taking the line drop out as we take it to the sidelines. Here's Graham Hughes with Eric Growth.
Eric, I guess it's pretty easy for a side to sort of psychologically take it easy in the second half when you're leading by such a big score at half-time.
Yeah, it certainly is. You can't do that sort of thing with West this year. They're a much better side than they were last year.
I think Johnny Marnie might have had something to say too about the handling late in the first half and again early in the second half for the Parramatta side.
Yeah, it's been a bit, forced passes is probably the issue there, and we shouldn't be doing it.
Nice to have Steve Ella back.
Oh, certainly is. Steve's a magnificent player. It's, you know, in any team he plays, and he always lifts the players.
You're out with an ankle injury, a heel injury. When are you due back?
I hope with extensive treatment, hopefully next week.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Done.
Sports store proprietor Eric Growth. Penalty to Wests against Sterling. No, it's against Mosley. I beg your pardon. Then Price looks like he's coming off. Clark is back on for the Magpies. Neal. Williams. He's done a mighty fine job, this boy, Wilfred Williams, particularly in the second half. 5 tackles, little chip by Clark, fielded there and taken to ground by Steve Sharp. There's the chip on the NEC replay, and Sharp was always there to take it to ground. Here's Laurie. Let's get a look at the composition of this Parramatta team now. Jackson is back in the centres. Chalmers is on the wing. Kenny at the moment is playing in the centres. Sterling. That's Lillis playing in jumper number 24. Sterling. Kenny back for Sterling. Sterling puts the kick in and spinning like a top over there on the sideline before going across it. Have a look at this kick from Sterling. It goes so close to the touchline, then it starts to spin like a top. And off a Western Suburbs player is the ruling. Kenny, Taylor coming in, cut out ball on him for Laurie. Laurie looking inside, takes it to ground 30 metres away from the line. Kenny to Taylor, has Jackson with him on the outside. Naden flinging little Taylor to the ground. Back to Sharp. 18 is Chalmers. Clapping you hear in the background is for Jerd, who's arriving back now to the players' tunnel. As Parramatta go onto the attack through Sterling and Kenny to Mayers out very wide. Mayers. Naden's doing a good job in defence. In fact, he eventually picked him up and drove him with the help of Alan Falla. 5 tackles gone. Mosley gets the ball away, but West have come up with it. Number 40 for the Magpies is Alan Burns. Clark again is on the ground. No score in the second half. What does that mean? Has the West's game improved, or has the Parramatta game become lethargic? So Bruce Clark coming off. McFarlane has gone up to the front row, and Burns will lock the scrum with Schubert going to the second row. This is Laurie. Michael Neal coming off. This is Graham Setri. Inside, Taylor. 6 metres out from the line. Sterling. Back for Lillis. Sterling again. Kenny around the back. Still going. Sterling. Still going. Mosley. Now Mayers. And the big man is put down about 2 metres out from the line. Sterling. Grubber kick ahead. And raked over the dead ball line by the Magpies. So a line dropout. See replay of it. Petherbridge almost booting it out of the hands of Schubert. Bruce Clark getting some help back to the dressing rooms. As Taylor goes across to field that on the full. Oh, he's gone right through. Like a hot knife through butter. And a penalty now to Parramatta.
Parramatta's outside backs to be disappointed that the referee didn't play the advantage, because they were certainly running into no defence.
Sterling popping it up to Kenny. It's lost by Kenny, and this will be a scrum now. So they tried to do the right thing by the fans and go for a try rather than a goal, but it's backfired on them. It's been a very ordinary second half, though, to say the very least. From Parramatta in particular, they've run to a 24-6 lead and they look like they've pulled their tent down. Petherbridge. That's Burns in 40. It's a shame to see a player of Alan Burns' class running around in jumper number 40, really. Freeman. Don't forget Wednesday night, live at 7:30. Trevor Cogger doing his best, but he's put it down. Mayers has got it for Parramatta. Tackled by Brett Gale. Yes, live telecast 7:30. Don't turn on to 8:30 for goodness sake. Expecting to see the kickoff between Manly and Brisbane. From Lang Park at 7:30, live to 10 viewers in Sydney. Kenny across now for Sharp. Into the corner goes Chalmers. He has to step back in field. Good defence by the Magpies. Jackson, Kenny, back. That's Setri. Right in front of the uprights, 10 metres out. Dummy half Mosley. Sterling. Cuts out Lillis. Finds Taylor. Taylor gets a pass away. 6 more tackles should be the ruling. Well, he's ruled that he passed the ball forward. That's all I can understand from that ruling. It was definitely hit by a Magpie. And at least Steve Gosson's going to be able to say to them, we played a 0-0 draw for 40 minutes. If this keeps going, Atkins. Oh, here's Taylor. Inside the 22. He's found Mosley. Mosley to play it 10 metres out from the line. Held down by Dillon. Across now and through rolls to Sterling to Kenny. Kenny steps off his left, turns it back inside. Sterling backs him up. Outside for Setri. Setri floats it over for Chalmers. Chalmers will score. The only point so far in the second half scored by Tony Chalmers. Good work by Sterling. You saw him at his brilliant best. And probably the exercise for anybody watching the game from a player or coaching point of view is to watch how Sterling supports the ball. And if it hadn't have been for him staying alive and supporting, this try most assuredly would have broken down. There's Chalmers going in for the try. Bill Anderson.
Brett Kenny's got this marvellous ability to be able to keep the ball alive. He was hit in a tackle, just got his hands free. And Peter Sterling, that had thrown the pass to him, looped around, made the extra man, fired it onto Setri. Good support play here. Chalmers positioned himself well, took the pass over the top and simply had to fall over to come up with the 4 points.
Here's Graham Atkins with his kick from the touchline. Oh, that's a gorgeous kick. Beautiful kick by Graham Atkins, the man they call the Brave. 30 points to 6 in favour of the Eels. Put down by Sterling, and Brett Clark for the Magpies is tackled now on the halfway. To Brett Clark's credit, Bill, you've got to say he hasn't stopped trying.
He hasn't. There have been a few players in Western Suburbs that have been in a similar position. They've just been outmatched by a side that's too classy, got too much penetration and too much experience for them.
This is Freeman. What a feeling it must be for that young man in 33 out there for Parramatta, David Rolls. I was telling you about. He played schoolboys last year with Tony Casado from Ashcroft. And his dream, of course, is the Parramatta number 7 jumper. And here he is coming on in the latter parts of this match to push the Parramatta number 7 out to 5/8. You reckon that wouldn't be a thrill for him? Clark. Gale. Tackle by Laurie. Good piece of football by Brett Gale, and Brett Clark it is who gets the kick in, so it's going to be a scrum. Midway, 22 halfway on the Parramatta end of the ground. There he is, the young fellow I was talking about. I don't know him at all, but they say he's a very cocky little fellow, very confident. Atkins, Kenny supports. Kenny coming across the halfway. Laurie's with him. Chalmers should go inside. Laurie tackled just inside the touchline. Chalmers dummy half in 18. Inside the 22, still going Chalmers. He's only 7 metres out. That's a good run. Rolls is calling for it. He wants the run around from Laurie, but he's going himself. Held a couple of metres from the line. Laurie the dummy half. Sterling puts the kick in the air. Atkins will take this. Put it down behind him. Mosley picks it up and scores the try. Michael Mosley, the try scorer. Well, that's a reward for a job well done for Mosley. Maybe not so much in this match, but in recent weeks he's been playing very well. No question about the referee's ruling on it. And it's a 4-pointer to Parramatta and to Michael Mosley.
We continue to marvel at Sterling's kicking game. This bomb was spot on. Atkins couldn't hold it. Mosley was backing up and he came up with the crumbs.
1 from 1 for Graham. He had a shot from the other side of the ground. 2 metres in from touch. He's got it away all right. He's got it. Whoa! 36-6 now. Blue and Gold Army goes up again. There's the siren. It's over for Western Suburbs. Quite thankfully, I would imagine, because they came here today. The game was going to be built very much on euphoria, guts, heart, spirit, call it what you like. But class is what it all came down to. And they didn't have it to match Parramatta, as the scoreboard indicated. 2 for Kenny, Jerd, Jackson, Price, Chalmers and Mosley got amongst the points. Ella kicked 2, Atkins kicked 2. He may have got himself a job there, Graham. West's Gale the try, Schubert the goal. 36-6 to the Eels over the Magpies.
Let's have a look at the results now of other matches played over the weekend. South defeating East yesterday by 8 points to 6. And a couple of shock results today. Illawarra 22, defeating St George 8. Manly 24, Cronulla 12. Penrith 22, Canberra 16. Parramatta 36, West 6. And Norths 19, Canterbury 4.
Canterbury made a good start with a try after only 8 minutes. A clever switch of play by Peter Kelly and Paul Langmack enabled winger Sandy Campbell to squeeze over in the corner. But from then on, it was all Norths. The Bears' new names finally blended together to score 2 tries in 3 minutes. The first came after a long pass by Mark Cannon, found Fred Teasdale. And Teasdale put centre Brett French in for try in his first match for his new club. Then former Brisbane winger Les Kiss showed he's got plenty of talent. The 3 Kiwis, Graham, Friend and Philippina, handled before Kiss took the pass on halfway. He used a perfect in and away to beat Mick Potter to race ahead for a good winger's try. With his conversion, the Big Bears were having a picnic, leading 14-4 at half-time. There was nothing fluky about the Bears today, even allowing for Canterbury backing up from their midweek match. With Kiwi Test coach Graham Lowe on hand, Mark Graham turned on a big one, powering his way over wide out to send the Bears to an 18-4 lead. North's Mark Cannon ended the scoring when he potted a field goal to give the Bears their best win so far this year, 19-4 in an upset.
At Brookvale Oval, the Sea Eagles drew first blood 14 minutes in when Mitchell Cox throws a long ball for Cleal, who gives it on to big Chris Close, who in turn finds Phil Blake, who's able to improve his position, giving Manly the lead 6-2. 16 minutes later, Manly again swing the ball out wide in another promising raid that looks to come undone when Shearer loses the ball. But Blake is jogging on the spot to pick up the scraps to score his second try. The Sea Eagles went to the break with a handy 16-4 lead when Hasler and Cleel combined to work the blind side. The Sharks bit back with 2 quick tries in the second half. The first, a great solo effort full of determination from Michael Porter. However, the in-form Manly weren't to be denied when Cleel crossed for his second try, giving the Sea Eagles victory 24 points to 12.
The first 40 minutes on their new home ground, the SCG proved a nightmare for last year's grand finalist St George. Illawarra bounced to a 2-0 lead after 5 minutes when Tony Armstrong scored the first 2 of his 12-point haul in the first half. At the 25th minute mark, Michael O'Connor landed the equaliser, but that's as close as the Dragons went in the first half. In the 29th minute, youngster Paul Upfield did the lead-up work for the Steelers before Bolt backed up well to put Armstrong in for the try. Armstrong landed the conversion and 2 further penalties as the Illawarra outfit went to a well-deserved 12-2 lead at half-time. And things didn't improve for the Dragons as the Steelers increased their lead to 18-2 early in the second half. And when Greg Mackey scored 17 minutes into the second half, it was all over for the Dragons in a big upset.
Canberra started the scoring after some clever work by half Chris O'Sullivan and prop Gary Coyne, before hooker Steve Walters sent Ashley Gilbert racing over under the posts. But Penrith, badly needing a win, hit back. Greg Alexander combined with rangy second rower John Cartwright with the talented ball playing forward, slipping a neat pass to tiny fullback Rob Robards, who just made it to the line. Penrith led 12-6 at the break and got home, yet the try that mattered wasn't really on. A loose pass by Greg Alexander was picked up by Craig Connor. He drew the defence to send David Green in to score, and Penrith bounced back to win 22-16.
So let's have a look now at what's happening on the premiership table in the Winfield Cup. Parramatta 12, South Manly North 10, Canterbury 7, Balmain Penrith St George on 6, East Illawarra Cronulla on 4, West on 3 and Canberra on 2. Next weekend the Steelers play the Tigers, Penrith takes on Parramatta, West versus Manly, Cronulla and St George, Norths and Souths, Easts and Canberra, and Canterbury have the bye. The Challenge Cup final in England always arouses a lot of rugby league attention here in Australia, and that great match will be played at the Wembley Stadium in London on May 3. Castleford were the first team through to the final, and then it was left to Hull KR and Leeds to dispute who was going to meet them. Hull Kingston Rovers is a side including former Magpie teammates Gavin Miller and John Dorahy, and when they went round against Leeds, a team with Cliff Lyons in it, they played first up a 24-all draw. The next time they went round, Hull Kingston Rovers won by 17 points to 0 for the right to go to Wembley and meet Castleford.
After the cross, well, he tried to trip him up, and it's a try. No problem, and I think referee Robbie Whitfield is sending Paul Harkin off.
Despite losing Harkin, Rovers fought back from their 6-point half-time deficit.
Oh, Mike Smith coming through well. He's going in, and he's in, yes!
In fact, they at one stage bounced back to lead by 10. Then Curry brought Leeds back into the game with his second try.
The points, Alex.
And when Medley crossed wide out, Leeds levelled the score and kept his team's hopes alive for that trip to Wembley to face Castleford in the final on May the 3rd.
The biggest rugby league crowd of the season, over 32,000, saw a tense first half with chances few and far between. This drop goal attempt nearly gave Hull Kingston Rovers the lead, but Jeff Gratian covers well as the ball hits the post. But Leeds had their moments, and Paul Medley's 50-yard run brought the best out of George Fairbairn, the Rovers full-back. 0-0 at half-time. But in the second half, Rovers took the lead, Paul Harkin scoring a drop goal. And then the real breakthrough. Intense Rovers pressure, and Peter Johnston spots the gap, and Rovers take a 5-0 lead. And 2 further tries from John Lydiot and Andy Kelly sent Rovers to Wembley.
Time to again say thanks for joining us, and certainly we'll do it all again next week.